like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Welcome. This is Bobby Patterson, aka your boy Bobby P, and welcome to another amazing episode of the Victim No More podcast. And look, you know you're in for a treat this evening with our amazing guest. But before I get into that, as you saw I guess you can call the revamped video package, the intro, you see now that you can literally purchase shirts for the Victim No More podcast. Yes, there are shirts now for the Victim No More podcast. As the website stated on there, you go to store.thevictimnomore.com to pick up your shirt from the Victim No More podcast. And before we actually go into our interview, look, please share this live stream. And for those who are actually catching this on replay, please share it, because the story that we're going to hear this evening is absolutely incredible. This phenomenal person is someone that is almost kind of hard to put into words how seemingly fast they popped up on the scene. But when you get to hear that story, you'll know that, look, like I say, a lot of times there's a price for the promise. So, you know, without any further ado, you know how I do. I literally will create a video package to introduce our guest. This week is no different.
I found Coach Stormy through you. I found Coach Stormy through YouTube. I never did nothing ever before in my life. I was depressed. I just had a baby. I was staying in a room while my baby daddy was out of the room. And I just got tired of feeling depressed. Not to put him down, I'm just saying I stayed in the room. I was depressed. I was getting tired of feeling that way. I had got let go from my job of corporate America for 17 years. And I just went on YouTube. I was looking for a way out, some uplift, something, some encouragement. And I heard Coach Stormy Wilkinson talking, and she spoke my language. And I was like, oh, who's this amazing lady? So I tapped in more and more and more, and she was talking about NutriVerse, and she talked about the CBD tea that just came out at that time. I tried the products, and unbeknownst, I had lost like 21 pounds in the first month. And so at that time, I just was taking the products. People were asking me, what's going on? You glowing, you smiling. And I was referring them to her and Amazon. So after about 2 months, I lost more weight, and I said, you know what? I got to sign on with this lady. I got to sell these products and tell people about what these products did for me. And that's what I did.
our amazing, phenomenal guest, national director, six-figure ring earner, Miss Crystal Wilkinson. Welcome to the Victim No More podcast.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Bobby.
All right, all right, all right. How you doing this evening?
I am awesome, amazing. How are you?
I'm doing well. I am doing. I feel great. I feel amazing. And just to kind of give a little bit of background as to how we got connected. I think initially through relationship with Coach LaKendra Jones and her team, and then also Miss Maxine Campbell. Uh, and we kind of called each other on Instagram. And then I had seen a particular video, which actually ran at the beginning of this package. That's pretty much how it started for me. And I saw where you was telling, part of your story. And I was like, wow, that is phenomenal. And I said, you know what, though? There's more to this story. And so, the more that we started engaging on each other posts and whatnot, I said, you know what? I think it's time for me to just at least ask, would she be willing to come on the Victim No More podcast to share this story? Because see, what we see a lot of times on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media is the glory.
Right.
But very seldom do we understand or even get exposed to the story behind what we see. And so we just gonna get into a little bit of that here this evening. And pretty much everyone knows how this goes. We kind of talk about where we've been, where we are right now, and where we're going. Now, of course, I know you're in Atlanta right now by way of Nolans.
Yes.
So kind of give us a little bit of background as to Crystal's early years, as a child growing up, and then how did we transition into going into Atlanta and some of that stuff.
All right. First, I just want to say thank you so much, Mr. Bobby, for having me on your platform. It is an honor. I appreciate it. I'm just grateful to God for him connecting us and everyone attached to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow.
How I'm made it to Atlanta by way of New Orleans. I am a woman who basically was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, by my mother and father. My father actually used to play professional football. He's from Detroit, Michigan. He got injured, and he said the Lord called him to New Orleans to start his life back over again. So he went to New Orleans and ventured out into doing insurance. And then my mother is a teacher. She's also from Michigan as well. And they were married, and they migrated to New Orleans, Louisiana. Okay. And we were there for some years. And my father said that the Lord was telling him he needed to go into ministry. So he wanted to go to seminary, and he said Atlanta had a good seminary, and that's what led him to Atlanta, was seminary. And so my mother and father picked up from New Orleans and came to Atlanta to, go forward with their lives. Okay. And my mom continued to teach, and my father became a minister. So that's what brought us to Atlanta.
Okay.
At a very young age. And we got here. Unfortunately, my parents got divorced when I was around 8-9 years old. I went to stay with my mother and, continue on life here in Georgia. So.
Okay. So I think it's safe to say that at least from a very, very early age, you were exposed to at least having your own relationship with the Lord. So, and I think that's going to play a factor as we go further along when you tell your story. Yeah. Now, from once you got to Atlanta, who was Crystal, as a teenager and then growing into the young woman?
Crystal was let me just say this. When my parents got a divorce, it really kind of shook me up. I was a daddy's girl, very close to my father. a lot like my father, even to this day. And when they separated, it really threw me off a little bit. It threw me off a lot, really, to where, I started to act out, like a lot of kids do when their
Right.
parents divorce. And I started to act out where it was really like it just wasn't. I was a little toxic to the point where I was uncontrollable at some point, to where I left home. I left home at a very early age of 14, and I never looked back. I never looked back. So at 14 years of age, I went and moved with a friend. Was out there with her. Then I kind of left that situation. I was homeless for a brief amount of time. But, I kept living life. I lived the fast life in an early age. So I was out in the streets at a very early age by my choice. I got into a lot of different things, drugs, robbing people, all kind of stuff. I finished, unbeknownst though, I finished high school, praise God. And I was working and doing all other kind of things. I used to scam, steal, all kind of stuff, all kind of stuff out there in the streets in survival mode. And, that carried on into my 20s. That carried on, and then I got pregnant. Well, that wasn't my first pregnancy, but it was my actual pregnancy that I brought the full term.
Okay.
And when I brought that pregnancy, I had my first child. That kind of slowed me down some.
Okay.
It slowed me down. So, that was a little rocky. I still was out there doing different things that I shouldn't have been doing, dancing, writing bad checks, just all kind of stuff, doing drugs, alcohol. Thank God I had some amazing parents who still looked out for my child. And, I ballooned. I gained a whole lot of weight. I wasn't in the best of health. I actually did come across a corporate job one day, getting tired of the lifestyle. I said, Lord, I want to get right. I want to do things the right way. And I found a corporate job. And I was there for about 18 years. And I grew out of a lot of different things. But there were still things going on. And,
Right.
Corporate America, for the time that I was there, was really like college for me. It really was like a whole new world for me. And I have to give credit because it actually helped mold me.
Yeah, to who you are today.
Yeah, some of the harsh, abrasive, edgy areas kind of went out the window because I did have some mentors at the job who looked out for me and gave me a little feedback, So my experience with corporate was a good thing, but then it had it's
challenges.
Challenges, you know what I'm saying? So, but I learned a lot, experienced a lot. I dealt with a lot of sexual harassment. I dealt with a lot of workplace abuse, just a lot of workplace abuse, meaning overwork and things like that. But for me at that time, I was just trying to get my life in order.
You're trying to get your life in order.
And rise to the top, make more money to provide for my daughter at the time. So that's what I did for like 18 years of my earlier years. And all of a sudden, I kind of woke up one day and I started, learning a little bit more self-worth and self-love and a lot of things that I was dealing with, which were weighing me down because, I wasn't sleeping much. I was stressed, depressed, tired of playing the politics. I felt like, basically they had us like indentured servants. at the job, like at a corporate job. They told us when to go to the restroom, when to do this, play little games with your money. You know, it's just all kind of things. If you were cool with this person, you'll get that. If you were cool with that, they'll treat you like this. And it wore on me very much so, to where I started going backwards again. I started abusing drugs again. I started doing some things that just really wasn't right.
It
Because
wasn't conducive.
stress. It wasn't conducive for my success or my family, because I was stressed and was not happy at where I was at. And I remember praying to God, like, Lord, just lay me off or fire me, like something, because this is wearing on me. It's wearing on relationships attached to me. It's wearing on my daughter. And I went and complained one day about the treatment that I was receiving. And they were like, oh, Crystal, we're going to help you. And then the next day, I was fired. And at that time, that was my main bread and butter. But at the same token, I knew that I was a go-getter. I was a self-starter. I tried other little small businesses that I had going on. And I knew that, you know, hey, I got the drive
Right.
to do my own thing. But at the same token, it was a shell shocker, because that was some good income that was coming in every 2 weeks. So when I got fired, I did kind of go into depression. Then I found out I was pregnant again, and that really shifted my boat. And it was at Christmas time too. So when that happened, it was a dark cloud.
I can imagine. I can imagine. And I want to interject here because, you know, what you described as far as what you dealt with, as far as on the corporate job, unfortunately, with women, there, unfortunately, harassment occurs. I hate it because here it is. You take some of your most talented people, and you find a way to ruin them, or try to ruin them, or try to discourage them, and it's a method of control. And so, where you are able to actually fight through it, there are some women, they really, really struggle with that because they don't realize that they have within them, you know, the different type of skills, but it all starts with mindset. So, with you going through your experience and you literally demonstrating that no, you do not have to stay in that spot. You are a pure demonstration of what it looks like to fight that system in your own way and become a success. And you learn what you needed to learn from them, but you was no longer a slave to them. So I want to applaud you, and any woman that is able to do that, I wholeheartedly applaud you, because harassment at any level in any way is so unnecessary and is just absolutely wrong.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Um, and it was actually a fear, really. I battled with telling and reporting what was going on for a few years, because I was scared, you know. But, you know, one day I just said, you know what, look, no, you deserve better, Crystal. This is not right. You know, go ahead. So anyway, but back to what I was saying. So I got let go, and a dark cloud did come about where I did fear crept in. I didn't think that I was going to be able to manage, but at the time I knew I was pregnant. I said I got to focus on having a healthy pregnancy. It had been at that time 12 years since I had another child, so it was like a whole new thing for me again, and I'm in my 30s at that time, so it was different. And during the pregnancy, you know, I kept having what people would call anxiety attacks. And I used to tell people I felt like, you know, the enemy didn't want me to have a child, because throughout the pregnancy, I kept feeling like I couldn't breathe, like somebody was stepping on my neck the whole time throughout the pregnancy. And I'm going to be honest, I started thinking, I didn't know if it was the withdrawals from not being on drugs, because quiet as it's kept, when I got pregnant, I was doing pills, I was doing a lot of weed, and of course alcohol. And I did stop into the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I don't know if these are just withdrawals from being off drugs or what, but fighting to not have the anxiety attacks, fighting to be able to breathe during a pregnancy was it was a big thing for me, because I never, quite as it's kept, I never experienced anything like that, period, pregnant or not. I never felt like somebody had their foot on my neck and I could not breathe. And it would happen sporadically, and I would be with my other daughter driving, and she'd be like, oh my God, mommy, like, what's going on? And I had a big Hummer at that time, and I would be swerving off the road and stuff because I was fighting to breathe, and that happened so many times. And so I was just really fighting to get through this pregnancy as best as I could. And my beautiful baby came out, and it was a blessing. But coming out of the pregnancy and the struggles of the pregnancy, I think I also went into a depression as well, from just the strain of the pregnancy and just, I hate to say, like, just not having, I felt at that time I didn't have anything to cope. Like I wasn't on the drugs, I wasn't on the alcohol, because those are things that I used to cope.
Right. So you didn't have your usual go-tos.
Yes, I didn't have my usual go-to over the years to suppress whatever pain or whatever I was dealing with. And so when I had her, I really just didn't want to be bothered with anybody. I didn't want to go out the house much. I didn't want to be bothered with my kids. I didn't want to be bothered with my child's father. I didn't want to be bothered with friends or family. I remember I had a good friend of mine. She thought that she didn't know what was going on with me because I didn't want to talk to her or anyone. I really just was cooped inside, depressed and in a dark space, and just trying to figure out, like, what's going to happen. What we need more money. I'm not working. My other business, that season hadn't started up yet, which was taxes. So, you know, I'm like, where's the money? I need the money. So I was just really sad, depressed. And then I was trying to breastfeed, and I wanted the baby to be healthy. So I couldn't pick up the little X pills. I couldn't pick up the weed. So I was just in a spot where it was really hard for me, and I wasn't leaning on God the way I should have been. You know, I wasn't really into the word or anything, or my spirituality was gone. And so one day I just woke up and said, I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of feeling this way. Because I've been through a lot of shit in my life, but I've been through a lot of things in my life, but I never felt like I was in an empty hole and couldn't get out till that time in my life. And I said, something has to help me. I went to the doctor, and they said I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was anemic. What else? It was my thyroid was flaring up again. And I had a thyroid issue maybe at that time. I was maybe like 18 years prior to that, 10 or 15 years prior to that, I had a thyroid issue. And I'm not going to lie, I used to be, my biggest I have been was almost 265 was my biggest years ago. And that's when my thyroid had got out of whack. And so when they told me that years later, like, your thyroid is flaring up again, we might have to put you on medicine, I'm like, wow, like, my body is breaking down. And I do know that it's probably because of the state my mind is in. So I was like, this got to shake. So I went on YouTube, and I was like, I got to get up out of this. I need some motivation, some encouragement, because I know on YouTube I could listen to some type of inspiration or whatever like that. So I went on there, and I found this woman, and it was a woman, a Black woman, who was talking my type of language, who was talking about some things that I went through. And just, it's like she was speaking like the same type of
directly to you
directly
at
to
that
me.
moment.
Like, she was speaking to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And she was talking about how she overcame these things. And I just started listening to her more and more every day. She was cussing, and she was encouraging and empowering and telling people to get up out that mess. And then she started talking about how she was drinking this liquid vitamin. and it helped stimulate her mind, and it helped her feel good inside and help her just sift through things a little bit easier. And I was like, well, dang, what is that? You know, I was like, is that some noni juice or something? I didn't know what, because I'm like, what is this juice she drink? So I Googled the drink. I didn't even hear her talk about selling it. She was just talking about the experience. So I Googled it and I found it on Amazon.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, let me buy it. But it was priced a little pricey on there. I guess somebody was selling it, whatever, high, and I got it. And I used it, and literally 3 days later from using it, I was feeling so much better. I wanted to get up out my room. I wanted to interact with my kids, my family. I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to get up and go walk. I just felt so much better. And I went through like a month of using that bottle. And then I said, well, you know what? If a liquid vitamin is just going to help me, I'm going to go just buy me a cheap vitamin, a little $10 vitamin. So I bought this $10 vitamin, and I started feeling like crap again. I started feeling like I wanted to go back in my room. It was crazy. I just felt like it was going backwards again. And I said, what the heck? And so I said, oh, hold on. Let me change this up. So I went back and ordered it again. And I started feeling better again. And I started just feeling like I just wanted to do things differently. So I tapped into this woman more. And she had started talking about how she was going to start meditating every morning and to join in with her. And I started joining in. And I purchased a membership to this empowerment group she had, which is Girl Hold My Hand.
Mm-hmm.
And we would meditate in the mornings. She talked about doing daily walks. I started walking and things like that. And I started shedding a little bit of weight. And then I went to the doctor. And the doctor told me, you know, after a month or a half in, since my last checkup, it was like, look, Crystal, your blood pressure is back down. You don't have high cholesterol anymore. Your thyroid levels are back normal. And I'm not, you know, look, I'm not making no type of medical claims or nothing, but this is just what the doctor told me after me using the NutriBurst liquid vitamin.
I was about to ask you what was the name of
The
that juice
NutriBurst.
that you was
Yes, I
actually
was
using.
using the NutriBurst. After I used it for about a month and a half, my levels went back to normal. And I was losing a little bit of weight. And my relationships were turning around. And so people started seeing that I was glowing more. And it was like, wow, you feeling better. You can't, you know, this. So anyway, kept going. I'm still going through life, trying to figure out what's my next move, how, you know, I'm going to help my family push through this whole change in the financial situation and then having a new baby and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I heard Coach Stormy Wellington, which is the lady that I found on social media, on YouTube. She started talking about CBD and how it corrects bodily dysfunctions. And she was just educating people on how CBD is beneficial for us all and how it was kind of like a God plant. And she was talking about the CBD tea that she had been using and all the different things that she had been experiencing. And one thing she talked about was IBS. She suffered from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, for years. And that caught my attention because I remember being hospitalized a couple of years prior to that from not using the restroom for 10 days. I literally was slouched over, hunched over, on and on as the week went because I had not used the restroom in 10 full days. And I don't know if anybody could ever imagine how that feels, but it felt terrible. And then you're piling on laxative and everything. So she was talking about how she used to suffer from that for years, and I did too, ever since I was a child. And so she said that it corrected that. And then she told me how she was losing more and more weight. And I was like, wow, I need to lose more weight. And she told me how I help with anxiety, depression. So I said, wow, I could benefit from that as well. So I purchased the tea and I used it. And a month went by and I lost 22 pounds. I didn't even change my diet much. I wasn't doing much exercise. I was walking here and there. But I was using the NutriBurst and the tea, and I lost 22 pounds in less than a month. And so a
That's
lot of my
amazing.
people was really seeing that I was transforming, and they kept asking me, what are you using? So I kept referring them to Amazon, because once again, I really
You didn't
wasn't,
know. You
I
wasn't
didn't
putting
know, I
two and
didn't even
two
know who this
together.
woman was. I didn't know that.
Now, Crystal, before you go any further, I want to interject this because this podcast actually go to non-visual platforms. So I
Okay.
just want to interject. We're not making any medical claims. We're not stating that these products cure or mitigate any diseases. These are just purely our experiences, my guest experiences, as it pertains to the products that are consumed from Total Life Changes. All right, go ahead, Crystal.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. But yeah, so I started losing the weight, and people were asking me what I was doing. And I was referring them to this product on Amazon, because I wasn't plugged in. I didn't know this lady. I didn't know she was the top network marketing female in the US. I didn't know
Right.
anything about anything. And so after people kept asking me, my spirit was like, hold on. Like, this product really has helped me in the last 2 months. I need to tell more people about this product. I need to figure out how I can partner with this company, or how I can sell this product and help people, just gain better health, better mindset. I was like, I can help people, because I need to tell people really what it's done for me. So I researched, and I finally found out, oh wow, I can sign up with this lady. This lady is at the top of the company with TLC. I can sign on with her, and I could sell these products. So that's what I did. I signed on. I just went and found her link somehow and signed on. I think I went to her website and just like, oh, partner, whatever. And I signed on.
Signed up.
And at that time, I was down to my last dollars. I had about $3,000 to my name. And that was left from my 401k that I had when I got fired. And, they released the
My
401k.
goodness.
So I had $3,000 to my name. I remember telling my boyfriend, my child's father, at the time, telling him, hey, I'm about to use my money to put into this. And, I believe I'm going to be able to make something shake. That's just how I talk. And I said, I know I could get these products, and I'm going to break these products down like drugs. I said that because I knew, unfortunately, I'm familiar with the drug game.
Right.
And I knew about how people broke things down and flipped it and sold it. I'm very familiar with that because I did that. And that was part of my life, unbeknownst. That's part of my family's life. So I said, I'm going to get some products. I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to sell it. I'm going to tell everybody about it because everybody keep asking me. So I said, I'm going to put in $1,000, and I'm going to keep $2,000 to live off of. And I'm just going to pray that this $1,000 really, flip, because this $2,000 really is only going to cover me for another month, and I'm over it. So he was like, do it. You could do it. And I did it. And I came into business. I bought $1,000 worth of products.
And how much did you actually flip that into?
I flipped it into about $3,500 in less than a month. It was about 3 weeks.
My Lord.
Yes, I turned that over to 35. I didn't have nobody sign on with me. I wasn't even familiar with that. I didn't know anything about no binary, no G5, nothing.
None of that. All you knew was it was some great products. You had to be a part of the business, and all you wanted to do was literally get the products in the hands of the people.
Yes.
And you just broke that product down and flipped it and tripled your money. More than tripled your money.
Yes.
Lord.
And
wow.
That's how it formed. And 3 months in, 3 or 4 months in, I hit executive director rank. And how I found out how to do that was when I was so successful that first month, I went on YouTube again. This is before my coach, my visionaries, 1,000 families, our whole little group was formed. our whole big group. I shouldn't say little because nothing little about
There
it,
ain't
but
nothing
our
little about it
whole
at all.
group, our family, yes, our family was formed. It wasn't formed yet. So therefore, I was on YouTube and I was Googling videos to figure out how to do TLC, how to make more money with TLC. I was researching her old videos, learning, and some other people's videos, learning in TLC. And then I said, oh, shoot, I got to do this. I got to do that. So I found out I could recruit people because people was asking me after they was falling in love with the product. People was like, oh my gosh, Crystal, how can I do it like you're doing it? And I built a team. And about 4 months, I was executive director with TLC.
Wow.
I had to.
You know, before we go any further, of course, a good portion of the audience that are watching right now is a part of Total Life Changes. And I just want to kind of highlight a couple of things here. Number one, you didn't really know what you were doing when you first came into the business. All you knew was you had a product that helped you. You was excited about it. You had your own results and you was telling people about it. And you believed in yourself enough to make an investment. So you took the products that you believed in yourself with, and you just went to work not really knowing anything about how to build any business. As you just said, you didn't even know anything about binary. So I think it's safe to say that I would much rather have ignorance on fire than knowledge on ice.
Yes.
Because that ignorance on fire will put money in your pocket. You can sit back and know everything about this business all you want to, but if you're not going to get your behind out there and go to work, ain't nothing going to happen. Go ahead, Crystal.
Yes. And that's how it was for me. I felt like it was no other choice but to make this work. I gotta make this work. I need to be able to pay my bills in this month. I know these products changed my life, and I know that they could change other people's lives. I just gotta get out here and tell other people about it. People are seeing it anyway in my energy because I had a new energy. I had a new glow. I was interacting with people differently. I smiled more. You know, I wanted to deal with people more. I used to not like dealing with people. I used to not like people.
I can't even imagine that. To see how you operate now and then not want to be bothered with nobody. That's serious.
Yeah, I used to not like people, and that was just a defense mechanism. Also,
Right.
I didn't like myself. So, you know, with that being said, I was in, you know, my little bubble, but not really a bubble, but it was a protective bubble for me. That people just an invisible bubble they didn't know. And so, you know, I kept going. I kept meeting wonderful women and men who love the products as well. And, you know, I just built a family. And, you know, who I started with is currently not all who I'm with now. Now I'm a national director with TLC. I've lost over 64 pounds, maybe 65,
Wow.
66 pounds. My first 9 months, I made over $225,000.
Say that again.
No, I'm not making no income
Income
claims.
claims.
But for me, in the first 9 months, I made over $225,000, and that was outside of my back office. So, and I made, you know, and I made money, almost 6 figures that first 9 months in my back office. So I never thought it could be this big. I mean, I never sold anything like this before. Well, I should say I've never been in network marketing and in a building of an organization.
Right.
I never did it before in my life. And I was very shocked that my passion for the products and my passion for helping other people really is what got me to where I am today. And now I'm a national director.
Yes. Congratulations on that, by the way. Now I want to bring up something that's probably going to bring a smile to your face. Now, you know me, I think part of how we met, I think a couple of months ago, I was somewhat taking part of a content challenge put on by a young and up and coming entrepreneur by the name of Kai Blue.
Yeah.
And I had caught the middle of it. So I really wasn't officially part of the challenge, but I knew for me personally, I needed to do more as far as social media. So I started posting 3 times a day live, going live 3 times a day on Facebook, 3 times a day on Instagram. And I also started getting more active on YouTube because years ago, and he's probably watching this podcast right now, but there's a gentleman by the name, he's global director, Mr. Scott Bent, and he constantly encourages us to actually get a YouTube channel and develop it. So I just finally got to a place where I was like, you know what? I got to grow because it makes no sense for me to be a transformation contest winner and not telling my story, not getting myself out there because people need to know about these products. They need to know about mind, body, and spirit. And so you started jumping on, some of my lives. So that's how this thing kind of started. But, you know, you talking and sharing your story actually goes to something that I guess I got adopted into again, which is you have a book club that you
Yes.
do on Sunday nights,
Yes,
and you talk about actually you're in a book now that I read years ago several times, and it has come back now
yes,
called The Law of Recognition.
yes,
And so as you're telling your story, I am understanding how even more how the law of recognition literally plays in your life, which basically goes like this. Anything that you need or want already resides in your life. It's just merely awaiting your recognition of it.
yes,
I love it when you tell your story because when you recognize what these products could do for you,
mhm,
and automatically you recognize, hold on, I don't need to hold on to this
mhm,
because I'm already in a financial situation. I can help solve other people's problems
yes,
and get these products out to the people. And that's basically, we can give all type of technical names to this stuff all we want to, but that is the basics of how you have become successful. We just take these simple principles and repeat them time and time and time again. Because I don't know if you understand how mind blowing that is, but for somebody to come into the business who didn't know absolutely nothing about network marketing, nothing about how to sell these products, but within your first 9 months, you made well over probably closer to $300,000.
mhm,
No,
yeah,
no, 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 no. We need to pay attention.
yes,
We need to pay attention. So I appreciate you actually recognizing the law of recognition actually working in your life. So that's why that book is so special that to us right now, because I'm relearning some
yes.
things all over again.
And Bobby, I'm sorry, can I cut in on that? And if you don't mind, I have to give, honor to where it's deserved. And it really, my coach, and I didn't even edify her enough, but Coach Stormy Wellington is who introduced me to that book. And
Okay.
this woman, I love her. Like, I'm a type female, or I'm a female who has never really honored a lot of people. I'm gonna be honest, over my younger years, I didn't even know what honor really meant to me, this woman. I didn't understand what honor meant. I didn't honor myself. I didn't honor my parents. I barely honored my grandparents. I was scared of them, but barely honored my I'm just being real. I didn't honor people in my life. I didn't honor the law. I didn't honor God. Um, and at one point, I really didn't even honor my children. You know what I'm saying? And so I never really was a type female who would look up to somebody or something like that. I never had anybody. I was you say, a groupie too. I never was like, oh, Beyonce, oh, this person, I want to be that.
Right.
I never had somebody I wanted to be like or anything. But this woman, Coach Stormy Wellington, she is definitely, and she don't like to be called this, but she is definitely a minister. She is definitely ordained by God and assigned to a lot of souls. And I'm one of them. And I cannot thank God and thank her enough for the impact, for the leadership, for what she's exposed to me, for the things she spoke over me, because she truly did a major part in changing my life. And just introducing me to TLC alone is enough. If she don't do nothing else, that's enough. But she really played a major part in the shift that happened in my life. And it's still shifting to this day. When I came in this business, it was a business for me. Now today, this is a ministry. And it used to make me cringe. And I'll be honest with you, I would cringe about it, because I'm a person who has stepped away from religion. I was born into Baptist, and raised all my life into Baptist and Christianity, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, for me, because of experiencing church hurt and different things over the years, I kind of shunned away from a lot of that.
That's understandable.
And shunned away from God. But coming into TLC and meeting this woman and being in alignment with this woman, she has introduced me to so many different things spiritually. And I'm just grateful to God for her. I'm grateful for the assignment. I'm grateful to be in ministry, because this is a ministry for me now. It's not about the money. I already know the money comes. I attract money. I'm a money magnet. I know that as long as I work in my assignment, my purpose, that God is going to provide for me and everything that's attached to me. So this is a ministry for me now. It's no longer a business. Of course it's ran like a business.
Right.
For the the cardinal, for what's going on around me.
Right.
It's a business. But this is a ministry for me. And I take this very seriously. And you introduced the assignment piece to me. I never used the word assignment till I heard you on a live one day. And you talked about how it has to be taken seriously. And you have to operate in your assignment. And people need to be very serious in doing this business. Because literally we are changing lives. And I honestly recognize that. I didn't recognize that really to the top of this year in hearing you say that. And I went back home and told my family, like, y'all, I'm in ministry. I'm in ministry. I'm in full ministry. And it may not be the traditional ministry.
Oh, but it's effective ministry nonetheless.
It's a very effective ministry. Do not look at my outwards appearance. Yes, I do walk around in workout clothes because that's part of my life.
Right.
That's part of my lifestyle. That's part of my movement and my mission. Yes. So don't look at the carnal. Don't worry about disregard. I'm human. I'm going to cuss sometime. I'm going to listen to the trap music. I'm going to do stuff. But this is a ministry for me. And I take it very seriously. And I just have to give you credit as well for that. So I appreciate you speaking on the assignment and speaking on what we're really doing right here at TLC.
I appreciate that. One of the things that really made me reach out to you, I when I talk to people, there's certain things that I listen for. And one of the things that I listen for is the spirit of honor. People do not realize is that honor can get you places that talent can't keep you. But the lack of honor can cut you off from access. And as we mature, as we learn, you also understand certain things concerning honor. There are times when you're going to have to give honor to somebody that you might not necessarily like, but they possess something that you need. And being in this industry, there are times when you're going to have to do that. And you have to walk in a certain level of humility to be able to function the way that you need to function. And so I remember having some early conversations with you, and that was one of the first things that really stood out. And I appreciate you saying, what you said about me speaking about the assignment. I am huge on that. Anybody that knows me personally just a little bit, that's where I have been, especially here within the last 6 months. I'm not coming off of that. And here's the reason why. When you recognized your assignment, and you didn't even recognize that it was your assignment initially, but all you need to do is just recognize it. Everything else work out. When you get into your lane, when you get into your flow, when you get into your assignment, your protection, your prosperity, and your provision is going to be right there in your assignment. Outside of that, yeah, you might have talent to make some money, but you're not going to be effective, and you're not going to touch the lives that you're supposed to touch. Because here's what I do know. Those folks that Coach Crystal is assigned to, they love them some Coach Crystal. Trust and believe. And I know that you are making a huge impact just by watching you operate and how you inspire people to do what I mean, you inspire me because I don't miss I see, but I told you from probably first or second conversation that we had, I don't get caught in all that other stuff. I understand the purpose of it, but I'm after the meat, and I watch how you operate and I watch how you move. Here's a prime example. Y'all don't let the smooth taste fool you. Yes, she does what she does as far as cosmetically and appearance is concerned. But you want to know how I personally met her? I had finished going to an amazing elevation summit held by Coach Larissa Barclay a couple of weekends ago, and it was on a Sunday, and I was geared to leave town. I said, "Hey, Crystal, let's meet up. I just want to meet you right quick." She was like, "I want to meet you too." When we met, I literally had to run out the restaurant to meet her for a solid maybe a minute and a half. You want to know why? Because Crystal was out there getting the products in the people's hands. She was about her grind even then. So I know Crystal Wilkinson is about her father's business for sure. I appreciate that about you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I am serious about the assignment, and I'm serious about just helping people change their lives, because if I could, just share my story with people and it could just help them in any kind of way, that fills me up. Like, that does something for me. My family and friends always call me Dr. Phil anyway. I always trying to help people with their problems, even though I couldn't get my problems all the way right. But I feel fulfilled when I'm helping others. Like, it warms my heart. It does something for me to know that I'm helping somebody avoid a situation or better their life or whatever, just getting closer to greatness. Like, I love it. I love it.
I know. I can tell. I can tell the passion. We heading towards the end right now, and two things I want to bring up very quickly. Grateful is my mindset is probably next to we love each other, period, is my favorite core value from Total Life Changes. Give a small example of what you're grateful for.
Grateful is our mindset, is my favorite core value as well. And people may see that on my post, and I may say it so much. I had to check myself one time because I was like, I gotta quit putting I'm grateful. But no, I'm really grateful. I'm grateful because I really wasn't supposed to be here today. People who have known me for 20 years, at least 20, maybe 15 years, know where I should have been, like the things I did. I wasn't the best person. I wasn't. And, all I can do is just operate in purpose, operate in love on others, and just spread the goodness of God within me And I'm just beyond grateful to be here today. Like, yes, I'm grateful for my kids. Yes, I'm grateful for my family. Yes, I'm grateful for everything that I have. I'm grateful for great health. Health matters. Yes, I'm grateful for
Mhm.
my health, but I'm really grateful to be here because I should have been dead and gone a long time ago. And it's by God's grace I'm still here, and I'm forever going to yell and say I'm grateful, because there's more to the story. I shared brief snippets of it,
Mhm.
but I'm just glad that I've overcame a lot of strongholds. I've overcame
Mhm.
a lot of conditions that I created in my mind. Um, I had to really do the deprogramming. And
Mhm.
I'm going to start talking more about that. Thank you, Coach Stormy, for really talking about that with us, in the community, Girl Hold My Hand community, which is an
Okay.
amazing community. But she talked about the deprogramming, and, I'm just grateful to be in a number and be at this place right now with this mindset. And I love it here. I love it here. So grateful is my mindset. That's my favorite core value. And I'm grateful for life. Okay. I'm grateful for a
Mhm.
second chance. I'm grateful for a new mindset. I'm grateful for another rebirth.
Well, what I know for sure is that you know no good thing is going to be withheld from you. You keep walking in your assignment. One last thing, if you could give one piece of advice to anyone that is listening, to this podcast or taking a look at it, what advice would you give them at this particular point?
You can have everything you want in life. You can have everything you want in life. It first starts with your mindset belief.
Hmm.
I never knew the power of belief till now, till the last year or two, really last year. You can have everything you want. You dream big, think big. You deserve abundance. You deserve freedom. You deserve to live life on your means, on your terms. You can have that. You can have that. Just first decide in your mind to believe that you deserve it. You can have it. Believe, 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 believe. We create conditions in our minds that really hold us back. So it always starts with that thought. So I just want to leave people with, you deserve the best. You deserve to live a life of abundance. You deserve freedom. Your
Mm.
children deserve freedom. You deserve to live life on your terms. And you can do that. But it starts with that first thought of belief. That's what I want to leave first.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't make it any simpler than that. I think the word of the Most High states that, hey, look, it's impossible to please God without belief. Y'all, there's nothing else left for me to say. Crystal done pretty much done preached this evening. Crystal, thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming on the Victim No More podcast. Um, I know that there's some amazing things that's getting ready to take place in your life. It's not. I just don't believe it's going to be long because you're beginning to walk full stride in your assignment, and the lives that you're going to affect and touch is absolutely going to be phenomenal. I appreciate you. I appreciate the wisdom that you have and share so freely, and your giving heart is that, trust me, it's paved the way for the elevation that's about to take place. And I don't speak those words lightly, so check the track record,
I
if you
receive
will.
it.
Just know that just get ready. I think this is the beginning of the continuation of your shift. So I once again I appreciate you being on this podcast. It's definitely not going to be your last time on this podcast. Trust and believe, and we appreciate you. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're going to have another amazing podcast next week, an incredible guest. But by all means, before I come up off of here, for those on the live stream, please give our guest this evening, Miss Crystal Wilkinson, some love in the chat. She really dropped some jewels this evening. She told her story, but more importantly, she talked. That this was almost like a mastermind. So this is incredible. This is incredible, and I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. For those that'll catch this on the replay, please share this. Please share this. There are some golden nuggets within her story, and how she tells her story. The lessons are incredible, absolutely incredible. All right, family, my time is up.
Before we close, I'm sorry. I just want to give a shout out to 1,000 families, 1,000 Black millionaires. That's my team that I'm with under the amazing visionary Coach Stormy Wellington. And shout out to my team, the Winning Circle. We going higher, y'all. I love all y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, she has spoken. Our time is up, and we thank you for yours. And stay tuned for another amazing The Victim No More podcast coming to you next week. Crystal, hold on. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
I like that.